Many people think they are immune to media influences. In fact, surveys show that almost everyone thinks media affects others but not themselves. However, scholars who study mass and social media say that they do affect most people's opinions, identities, choices, and lives. These are the words of author Julia Wood of Wadsworth Publishing in Massachusetts. This little phrase speaks volumes in a world with little escape from the tantalizing messages of the media, offering an easy and quick way to categorize our lives with stereotypes. Each person can easily find themselves a victim or a contributor of stereotyping, from a little child to the elderly, much of which we learn from what magazines and television tell us people act, think, and look like. It is important for consumers to use critical media literacy, looking closely at what each type of media is really conveying to its audience in order to continue to grow and create a harmonious life now and for generations to come.
It's all about the change in how we view certain things in life, starting with the people wanting to go out and get their 15 seconds of fame, or a woman who has the passion going out on that sports ground and commentating for a professional sports game. Women in the sports media are stereotyped every day by how they look, the way they act, and most importantly, their intelligence. Women have such strong composure when it comes to them being judged in the sports media industry for the fact that they could feel any man or woman would be envious of them for the knowledge that they have displayed. Today, while the number of female sports broadcasters is on the rise, most will say that looks do play a major part in this business. Inez Sainz is a TV Azteca sports reporter for her local home in Mexico and is also known for her model photos that she has done in her past. In 2008, Inez was on the football field reciting the sports news for all football fans around the world. While conducting an interview with a professional male athlete, a voice was said in the background, a comment on how Inez was dressed and the way she looked while being taped on camera interviewing this professional athlete.
When I get into the locker rooms, in the minute I get walking, I hear some noises and some like the people are joking about my presence there, the players. But I decided not to pay attention because I wasn't focused on my job.
Inez was targeted for her body image and the way she conducted the interview going into the men's locker room, and was looked at the way she was dressed rather than how the player reaction was to the game and the questions she was asking. For all you sports fans out there, you shouldn't view women as eye candy or any other objects that you have in mind about them. They are there to be professionals, and they deserve your respect as well.
Of all the stereotypes in media that have a negative effect, the one that can be seen as the most apparent is the portrayal of women in magazines and advertisements. Every day you see image after image of flawless women in advertisements and television, and you envy their beauty. Most women see these images and feel as if they need to look as beautiful as these models and celebrities that are in these pictures. Media such as television, magazines, and advertisements portray women as thin, flawless, and sexy, giving young girls a warped perception of what it means to be a beautiful woman. Women of all ages are bombarded with image after image of flawless, skinny, edited women, featured not only in magazines like 17, but all media. After seeing these images of gorgeous, picture-perfect women, girls question their own beauty and thrive to be as pretty as the girl on the cover of the magazine. The images that young girls see as a child can later warp their perception of what beauty really looks like. An example is this bare-faced picture of popular singer Kesha. In the November 2010 issue of 17, advertised on the cover, it says that Kesha takes off her makeup and comes clean about her party girl past. Most people would think that a picture of a celebrity stripped down of makeup would be encouraging to young girls, but when you look closely, you can tell how edited to perfection the singer's face is. The picture is edited to make Kesha's face look flawless and airbrushed, and a fan is conveniently giving her that wind in the hair look. Images like this give girls a false sense of what being beautiful is. The edited image of Kesha's natural look is a perfect example of unreachable beauty. No matter how much makeup a girl does or doesn't wear, she'll be comparing herself to this image and will never reach that level of edited perfection. When young girls and women are surrounded by image after image of literally perfect women, you can't help but feel inferior. It's important that young girls and everybody know that advertisements are heavily edited and that level of flawlessness isn't reachable beauty. In conclusion, here's a video of how photographers get that wind in the hair look.
Much like women being stereotyped in the media, the same can be said about men. There are many stereotypes about men in the media, and more commonly they are stereotyped through television sitcoms and advertisements. In the past, men were stereotyped as strong, independent, successful breadwinners and a family man. But this is no longer the only way that men are shown in the media. More prevalent and negative stereotypes, such as man being a sex-driven pig or the incompetent father or husband figure who just can't seem to do anything right, persist throughout advertisements and television sitcoms. Essentially, men have de-evolved in the eyes of the media. I'm sure we've all seen these stereotypes all the time in television sitcoms and advertisements. Think about some television shows that aired throughout the years, such as Family Guy, The Simpsons, Everybody Loves Raymond, According to Jim, and the list goes on. The same premise of negative stereotypes of men persists throughout these shows, portraying them as stupid and incompetent fathers and husbands. Sitcoms are not the only thing stereotyping men. Think about advertisements in between the shows. Advertisements follow a similar theme and are more centered around portraying men as stupid, sex-driven idiots. Beer advertisements are a prime example. Beer advertisements play on the idea that men are stupid and easily distracted by women, with no care in the world as long as they have their nice refreshing beer. While these shows and advertisements are often hilarious, they can limit our views of men, husband, and father figures. These stereotypes can seep into our lives many times without even us realizing it. I'm sure you too have been around a male-bashing conversation without thinking much of it. This seems to be becoming a norm and acceptable with little resistance. If these are the only messages we see, then people may start to believe them and encourage this ridiculous behavior because it seems funny or like normal male behavior. I would not want my future kids to grow up seeing men being portrayed as a joke figure in the family, and I'm sure many others wouldn't either. If we can become aware of these dim portrayals of not only men, but women and all other groups in the media, then we can try to break free of these limiting views.